Thursday, June 26th. I have to just kind of go over that. We're going to go over Micron. It was a clear play. Could have made some nice 7-8% right there. If you'd listened to me, if you'd taken the trade, I even put something in the newsletter. We'll go over that. But we'll go over all of Micron's earnings. If you're looking for a bullish signal on QQQ, I've got it for you. We'll look at the fear and greed index. How do you know where the market is going? Well, Fibonacci levels are a really good thing. So we'll take a look at what those levels are. DeepSeek and Nvidia, we'll talk about that stuff because Jensen Huang told us what the future was yesterday. Which would you rather, Microsoft, Nvidia, or Apple? Interesting thing. We'll talk about Palantir. We will talk about a stock that I really like long, Toast. I really, really like this one. Snowflake, the weekly chart, clearly. I mean, are we pulling back to my range of buying? CrowdStrike, we'll talk about that one. We will talk about huge news on crypto. And then an earnings play. That was a clear buy the dip. I didn't do it, but I'll talk about the experience on that one. It has to do with drones. First off, shout out to Tim. Well, let's look at the first one. Shout out to Tim at Stock Talk. It's his Substack. You know, we are competitors, but we are also, peers. And Tim does a great job. I'm a fan of his. He's got a system that works. It is not my system. It is a totally different system, different strategy, but he's made it work. He's got a great track record, some great analysis. I suggested this week he look at Toast, which I will look at later in this episode. It actually came out to be his number one stock. So if you are interested, go and subscribe to Tim. This particular one is one of his paid ones. So just be aware, his free stuff is fantastic. It's very much the same kind of style as I am. He puts out free stuff for you. You take the action. But if you want a little bit more in depth, there is a paid for his service. But he is fantastic. Has over 500,000 subscribers on TikTok. I was kind of a little bit suspect when I saw the Stock Talk and TikTok kind of thing, but he's legit, totally legit. So let's talk about Substack, because I want to know why the tens of thousands of people that listen to me don't subscribe to my Substack. So what I did yesterday, I gave you a little tip. Okay, yesterday I was on my way back from Walmart and I heard on CNBC, I was listening to it in the car, and I heard them say the Micron CEO will be on CNBC tomorrow morning. Now, this isn't always like a legit foolproof thing, but I wrote a note. I'm not saying this is an absolute, but I just heard the Micron CEO is going to be on CNBC tomorrow. You don't know how the market will react to earnings, but typically, if the earnings and outlook are bad, you don't see a CEO going on TV. You don't. And so I said, hey, maybe you want to play this one. Well, I will tell you, yesterday, it was up 7% in aftermarket. So had you bought it, I mean, let's just look at very simply. Let's look at some of the aftermarket stuff, because if you went and took that and you said, okay, during the day, I see this. Gary just wrote this out there, and I'm going to buy it. And say you bought it right at 13.20 when you saw this, not at the same time. It was at 126, 127. Well, where'd you get it? 134. And then you lost confirmation at 131, sell it, take some profits. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because the market digested things and it's come right back down. So Micron in after hours, it's up 0.98%. But absolutely, what's the lesson on this? The lesson is you should subscribe to the newsletter. Okay, it's very, very simple. Subscribe to the newsletter. The newsletter is very simple. It is a free newsletter every day. And then there are paid. Yes, these say paid. The only reason it says paid, like on yesterday's, the only reason this says paid is so that free subscribers can see it. The actual paywall is at the very end. Everything else is free. Okay? So it does say paid, but it is not paid. It shows up in your inbox every day. Now, let me tell you another benefit of the signing up for the newsletter. It's free. Again, sign up for the free one. When you sign up for the free one, you are automatically entered to win a 1-year subscription to TrendSpider, the charting program that you see me use every day. This is one of my essential tools. Again, I used free tools out there. If you don't understand technicals, go and get a free tool. Once you understand technicals, get TrendSpider. Okay, and if you don't use technicals, don't get TrendSpider. Continue to use the free tool. It's as simple as that. But you could get a free year of TrendSpider just by subscribing to the newsletter. So it's simple, it's easy. The newsletter is right there, simple and easy. Now let's talk about Micron, because Micron pops as Q3 guidance blows past expectations on AI strength. Again, remember, Micron, they are sold out of their 2025 chips. So every chip that they make this year, they're sold out of. And they said last night there is expected growth. So let's take a look. One other article, though. Q3 outlook beat sees largely positive views from analysts. So the analysts are saying, hey, it's probably a good buy. Well, let's look at this, because one of the things that I look at is the quant rating. Well, this is a strong buy. When did it go to a strong buy? Well, it went to a strong buy here at 122. Where are you trading right now? 128 in pre-market. But 122 was where it went to a strong buy. I like this one. Again, Wall Street, we can see what Wall Street says. Wall Street says it's a $138 stock. That's an 8% upside. When you go and you look at the 52-week range, 138 is where it is. Those will start to be brought back up, because when you go and you look at Wall Street, and again, Seeking Alpha has the chart, these have been brought down. This will start to get back up to the 160 level. It will. It was that good. It was really that good. Now we can take a look at Micron here in the 4-hour algorithm. It makes you 141% versus 85% buy and hold. So right here, 4-hour algorithm had you at $69. I said, hey, I'm a little bit skeptical of buying and holding into these earnings, because that has just been a crazy, crazy run. So maybe what you want to look at is an ETF. And now remember, the quant rating has ETFs as well. And the quant rating is a buy for semis, SMH. SMH, which was a buy, you go back here and you look at it. Where was the last time it was a buy? Way back here. Okay, way back here at 220. Where's it trading right now? 275. And let's go and look at SMH in the 4-hour algorithm. Again, using the tools that I have. 4-hour algorithm said it was a buy here at 201. When it went to a buy in Seeking Alpha, 220. So the lesson is, hey, using these tools, you can easily go back and look and get confirmed. And again, it's never a foolproof system. It's never a foolproof system. But it's a good opportunity to, and it's like taking a thing. Now, so I've been showing you Seeking Alpha. I've been showing you TrendSpider. This is a video of Inside Seeking Alpha Premium for June 2025. Go and look at it. Here's the thing. You can get a free 7-day trial. Okay? Here on Linktree, it's the third link. You can get a free 7-day trial of Seeking Alpha. Go and watch this video. See what it has to offer. Okay, it's 26 minutes long, 26 minutes. You can go and see some of the stuff. The basic of this, I want you to get the free 7-day trial. And the reason you should get the free 7-day trial is because you can get the free second half top stocks. You can get the 2025 stocks. You can import your portfolio in 7 days and just see what it is. So I like this service. And again, I've shown you exactly what I use. There are so many other features that you can use. So I like it. Now let's talk about the markets overall. Because if you're looking for a kind of signal that the markets are bullish, well, here's the NASDAQ. This is the QQQ, okay? The first golden cross. And you can go and Google golden cross. It is a very, very big bullish move. This is the first one we've had in 2 years. 2 years. And if we go over here and we look at QQQ, you could set up an alert for this. Okay? Go and look at the daily. When was the last time we had this golden cross? The last time we had this golden cross was March 7th, 2023. Again, the 50-day was trading over there. We talked about the death cross here April 15th. That death cross turned out to be close to the bottom. Close to the bottom. So the golden cross, again, you had this. Now, how has the golden cross performed? The last 2 golden crosses on QQQ, not too bad. 2020, look at that gain. 2023, look at that gain. 2025, we're already up way over the 50-day. So we're going up. Again, QQQ, bullish, bullish, bullish. Does it mean you're going absolutely higher? No. You've got this top right here at about 540, which we've got to push higher. And there are risks. Understand, there are risks. But if you're looking for where we will go higher, TrendSpider has you covered. Fibonacci levels. Go and Google what Fibonacci levels are. They're a great tool. I am not an expert in Fibonacci levels, and I will not draw them on my chart. But here on QQQ, you can literally hit the automatic Fibonacci levels, and it goes right there and it does it. Let's just reset this. We'll put that back. And you can look. And what this does is it gives you levels above 546, 549. It's mathematical. I don't understand it. I don't use it. But if you're looking for where we may go, Fibonacci levels may hold the key. And you can see on the NASDAQ, they're saying 578. These are people who actually understand Fibonacci levels. And they went back all the way to December. 626, that might be the next one. But these are good tools to have. And I just want you to be aware, before you start loading in, because I'm talking about golden cross, I'm talking about Fibonacci levels up, just understand where we're at. Okay, the first thing I like to look at is fear and greed. Everybody was afraid to buy. Okay, 1 week ago, you were neutral at 55. Now you're in the greed territory. 1 month ago, you were in greed at 63, so we're even lower. 1 year ago, you were in the fear portion. Okay, 1 year ago, remember, Powell was still talking about maybe hiking rates. We got the first rate cut in the fall, but there were still issues with the economy. But you're not looking at greed now. The other thing I like to look at is the VIX. Now, when the VIX pops to over 20, you want to be buying. The VIX is at 16. When it's over 20, that usually means that the stock market's on its way down. So you shouldn't feel comfortable buying here. And when we look at the market data and we go and look at bonds and we look at the 10-year, we're at 4.27. Okay, remember 1 month ago we were at 4.5. So the market's bringing the yield down. The VIX is saying, hey, feels pretty comfortable. And the fear and greed index is saying, hey, everybody's feeling good. That's not usually a recipe for we're soaring to even higher. But it's also not like a red flag saying, hey, we're going to crash. But it's a buy the dip market, and I continue to say that. What's interesting about this market is, if you remember, it was February when DeepSeek came out, and it crashed the entire AI chain. It crashed the entire AI chain. And when I said, we need a catalyst to get out of this, well, the catalyst was we continued on the AI spending. We are back to where we were. What could take us down? Maybe DeepSeek 2.0 or something that, something else. Maybe it's the July 9th tariffs. Maybe he doesn't do an automatic extension and he says, you know what? Tariffs are back on. But Nvidia touched a record high, reclaims most valuable company. Nvidia was up 4% yesterday. And it's back on their shareholder meeting. Jensen was in there. Are you trimming at the all-time high? Again, it's all-time high. 52-week range was 154 was the high. You're going to open up at another high at 156. Are you cutting? Do you have a look at what the charts are doing? 4-hour algorithm, it makes you 223% versus 258% buy and hold. You win 55% of the time. That 108 entry back here in April, genius, absolute genius. And yes, I've got some buys back here at 140. I'm up on them now. I will probably trim those and take some short-term gains. And then if it dips even lower, I will buy. But you can see that MACD reset itself. The RSI right now at 76. Why in the world would you be buying this? Why? Because your time frame may be 4 or 5 years. And the weekly chart, it hasn't been extended. Yes, the RSI is at 63. Yes, the MACD just crossed the oscillator. And yes, we're just getting over this 140. But if that 140 is to flip to support, it needs to spend some time over it. So if your time frame's long, go and get it. But could Nvidia be in a head and shoulders pattern? And what a head and shoulders pattern, you can Google it. What that would mean is that this one would trend down. And that might be what's happening. But you're not getting the street saying, hey, things are bad. Nvidia just got a price target upgrade to $250. Remember, you're trading at 154. So if we go and look at Wall Street, they say it's a strong buy. Their average price target is 173. Now, they have absolutely kept the price target up. Even during this drop, Wall Street said it's still worth it. The only problem is valuation. But we've gone over this before. It's cheaper than it's ever been. But can the market cap hold up? It is now the largest company in the stock market at $3.7 trillion. Can this be a $7 trillion company or a $6 trillion company? And double from here? I don't know. I don't think so. But again, if you like this, remember SMH. We just talked about this with the with Micron. It's the number one position in this. Taiwan Semi is the number 2. Both great stocks. And Jensen went over last night with Nvidia. He went over yesterday that robotics is their biggest opportunity. Okay, that's the thing. It's not just a chip company. They have a moat. And when we talk about moats, here is Shai's moat with Palantir. I talk about Palantir and the valuation and that I think it's crazy. But here's the moat. Oh, by the way, let's play a game before I move on to Palantir. Which one would you rather have right now? Okay, and I saw this on CNBC last night. They play this game at 5 o'clock. It's called Would You Rather. And you have to choose one of these three. Microsoft, all-time highs, 493, a little bit extended. Would you want that one? Nvidia, we just went over that one. All-time highs, bit extended. Do you want that one? Or let's pick the other Mag 7 that has lagged, Apple. Would you rather have that one? Are you going with the laggard Apple? Are you going to go with the AI leadership in Microsoft? Or are you going to go with the king of AI, which is Nvidia? Again, 2 are at all-time highs. Microsoft and Nvidia, they are leading the charge, but they're at all-time highs. Or are you going with the laggard Apple? I personally own all 3. All 3 are very large positions in my portfolio. Apple's my number 1 by far. I think Microsoft is number 2, if not number 3. And Nvidia is up there in the top 5. So I own all 3. But would you rather? That's what you have to ask yourself. Which one would you rather? And again, back to the moat, Palantir. Shai does just a brilliant job of this. Just an absolute brilliant job of talking about AIP as the new CUDA. CUDA, if you didn't know, is the software that Nvidia uses for their chips. And he's saying AIP, which is Palantir software, is the new CUDA. And I thought this was incredibly insightful. You can go and read this. And again, Shai is not losing money on this company. His average cost is $16.73. He's got total return of 762%. And he didn't start buying this back 10 years ago. Started buying this at, $16, I think he had some at the $8 dip. Let's go and look at the chart. Palantir here. It has just been soaring. Let's look at a weekly chart, because ever since it was down here at the $6 and $8 level just 2 years ago, it has soared. It has absolutely soared. And it could be a 10-bagger for him. And it's great. And so if you're interested in Palantir, go and look at it. Now, here's the thing. I went back and I said, you know what? I want to see somebody who I read an article on the analysis of this, somebody who's big on Palantir. And this is Palantir, the path to $2 trillion. We just talked about the market cap of Nvidia. Well, here's Palantir. What's the market cap of Palantir? Well, the market cap is $337 billion. It's not even a trillion dollar company yet. And remember, Nvidia is a $3 trillion company going on 4. This one could catch up, but the valuation and the earnings are just too high for me. But again, this article goes over how they get to $2 trillion in market cap. And that would be 5 times where they are right now. So could it go from $142 to $700? Potentially. Wall Street has it as a hold. What's their price target? 101. The quant has it as a hold. It's been a hold for a long time. And it's that valuation. And so if you want to analyze it with AI, you can analyze it with AI, or you can go read that analysis. Again, this is why Seeking Alpha is so key, is you can read this analysis and see if you agree with it. But Palantir, for me, just a little stretched. Another one that I think is stretched in the software space is Snowflake, and I've been over this before. The quant has it as a hold. Wall Street says it's a buy. They think it's a $230 stock. It is trading at $223. I have been very clear, and I am out of this one. But Snowflake, buy at 149 on the 4-hour algorithm. 4-hour algorithm works on this one now. It absolutely works on this one. But I've told you before, the way I was buying Snowflake is within this range, and it has popped to this range before. Back here in February of last year, it has popped to 236. The all-time highs are still 400 for Snowflake. So you're not even close to the all-time highs. But you've got to come up with a valuation or some type of moat like Shai has to get you there. So I'm just not there with Snowflake. So I'm not buying it. I am buying it when it gets back into this range. Again, thesis and action. Now, CrowdStrike. Let's go into, why didn't I open this one? Open with, why am I, I guess I did this backwards. Let's open this one first. CrowdStrike. We're going to talk CrowdStrike because this one, over 500 for the first time. Okay, I gotta move this one back here. Toast, I think that one's back here. Yeah, we'll look at this. CrowdStrike, over 500 for the first time. Is this one that you want to die on a hill for? It's at its all-time highs. Again, CrowdStrike at its all-time highs. But the valuation, crazy. 140 times forward earnings. But their growth, phenomenal. I own this one. I am sitting and holding this one, but I am going to start trimming this one as it gets to 500 because this one has pulled back again, 495. It's hard to hold over that new handle, but you can clearly see it's been in a bullish upward trajectory. The weekly stretched. I own this one and I own Pan W. This one has been the buy and hold, whereas Pan W should have been the trade. But again, that's just it. One stock that I'm looking at is Magnite. This is a competitor to the trading desk. We've been over the trading desk, but Magnite actually does the ads for Netflix. Okay, it's a competitor to trading desk. It popped the day before yesterday. It has been in a total upward trajectory. 1 month, it's up 30%. MGNI. Do I have this one in the watch list? I'm going to add it to the watch list because I haven't added it to the watch list, but right now I'm going to add it to the watch list. We're just going to put this in the daily stock pick watch list. So now you can scan against it. But look at this one. The 4-hour algorithm makes you 108% versus 51% buy and hold. It had you buy in here at $10 in April. You're at 20. Does it have more bullish room up? Well, look at the weekly. It just hasn't popped. This is, again, another snowflake that's in there. But way back here in February and March of 2021, the high was 48. So you're double where you are now. Is it worth it? I don't know. Wall Street says it's a strong buy, but they have a $20 price target on it. So go and read that one. Again, that's one that I'm looking at. And this is huge for crypto. Crypto is now Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. If you didn't know, they are the largest backers of mortgages in this country. They may include crypto as an asset. I will tell you, as a high net worth individual, okay, I tried to redo my mortgage without a job, so I didn't have a W-2 income. I can pay my mortgage 100 times over. No problem. No problem. The reality is I couldn't redo my mortgage, and the reason was because they didn't want my portfolio as being included in my income. That's it. So I could pay the mortgage perfectly fine, but nobody would redo my mortgage because they can't sell it because it wasn't going to be backed by Fannie Mae and Freddie. So I had to go to a private private mortgage company to actually get the mortgage. It's completely ass backwards. But I think the Trump administration is doing something really good, and Bill Pulte is doing this. He's asked Freddie and Fannie to prepare for cryptocurrencies inclusion as asset. This is bullish. It's bullish for crypto. Absolutely bullish for crypto. Okay, let's look at Toast. Because Toast is a stock that I want to look at for a little bit. And Kathy Wood's ARK Invest made major moves in Shopify, Toast, and Airbnb. They bought 70,000 shares of Toast to its portfolio and valued at $2,561,000. Now, Toast is an interesting one. This is in the watch list already. It's in there, and you've been able to scan against it. Now, the 4-hour algorithm doesn't do great. But are we setting up? This was a great earnings quarter for them on May 9th, and they talked about expansion. And I went back, and Michael Wiggins, podcast favorite, he did this analysis right after that earnings, okay? And he said, I see a path to $60 by the summer of 2026. Would that be a good move from here? Probably. You've got a gap up on earnings between 37 and 39. You're trading at 41. I am looking for a long-term position. This is one that I'd like. I really want to start it. I didn't start it down here in the 30s. I didn't start it down here in the 20s, but I was trading this one in the 20s for the pop. I made some money off of this one. It wasn't large positions. I didn't bring it up, but I did trade this one. Now, what I want you to do is go to one of your local restaurants, because I can almost guarantee you their payment system is Toast. And that's part of the inflection to $60. It's the growth in Toast. And we can go and look at it right now. It is a hold in the quant. Okay? It's been a hold for a little while. And it's based on the valuation. 45 times forward earnings. But their growth, they're growing revenue 26% year over year. Now, the restaurant business is tough. But they've talked about expanding to other places. So I like this one. Again, I like this one. So I've just given you huge catalysts on some stocks that I like. Put them in a watch list. Find your strategy. Figure it out. Go read these articles. They're good. Now I'll bring up the final one. Aero Environment. I'm usually ho-ho on these drone companies and kind of, YOLO kind of things. But I was on Spaces on Tuesday, and AV reported, okay? I want to show you the chart because I want to show you what happened. And again, you can't assume how the market is going to take earnings. We're going to go to after hours and we're going to go to a 5-minute chart. Okay. This was the earnings right here. This was Tuesday afternoon, and the stock went from 193 down to 170. And during that time on Spaces, the entire crew, and remember, this entire Spaces crew are degenerates who just invest in these companies that aren't making money, but have moats and have thesis, and they do very well. Stock Talk, in fact, was talking up. He's up 193% year to date. He's very good. I mean, but again, he's got to process and he's got to clear. This one dipped down and the panel went nuts. They said, why is this down? They beat earnings. It sounded like everything was good. And a bunch of people went in and bought the dip. Now you can see what happened as the market continued on. I then, that same night, the CEO was on Jim Cramer's show. I like what he said. I think I can find, and I said, I think I can find a strategy around this because he brought up Trump is going over Project Golden Dome, which is going to include drones. And these guys are the leaders in that space. Okay, Anduril, if they get an IPO, that's going to be a leader in this space. But right now it's AV. This is the way to play that space. So I like it. Again, Aero Environment shares jump on record bookings and revenue. It was a good quarter. Okay. And then they soared on, remember, they bought this company called Blue Halo. And I remember the CEO going over it and I was like, boy, that sounds really good. Well, Wall Street has a strong buy. Their price target is 218. They will chase this up. They absolutely will chase this up. Do I think you should go out and buy this one today? It's expensive. Understand, this has never been a strong buy. It was a buy here at 195. Their growth is phenomenal. Their valuation, stretched. But it actually has revenues and it has a business. So it's not like something that you're just YOLOing out there. And so I said, I think I can find a strategy. For those of you with TrendSpider, I'm going to go over this because right now I'm going to show you this strategy. I literally used the 4-hour algorithm and I switched it from 4-hour candles to weekly candles. Then I back tested it for 5.7 years. There's only 7 positions in this. 7 positions. You win 86% of the time. Your average win, 23%. You make almost as much, 193% versus 222% buy and hold. But again, it's a speculative area. So if you're playing the long game, find an entry here and you win 86% of the time if you want to get out. That's it. If this is an investable company for you, maybe this strategy makes sense. That takes you from literally being on, hearing about a company, going and looking at some of the finances and some of the moat, and then going and finding a strategy. Again, the tools that you have you need to use those. Now, I will tell you, when I went to Aero Environment, it's ranked 42 out of 60 in the space and aero industry. Okay? One that ranks a lot higher, that is an aerospace company, is Lockheed Martin. And I brought this up before. Lockheed Martin ranks higher. Go and analyze it with AI. I've mentioned Lockheed Martin is one of the only S&P defense companies that's still trading under its 200-day. But it's trading under its 200-day while it lags. But we've seen a little bit of a comeback if you go to 4-hour. A little bit of a comeback in this moment. So are we getting the turnaround here? Maybe. But again, This is about risk and reward. So you've got to find your own thing. I'm looking at AVAV because I like the drone portion. I like the CEO. I like the business, but I'm not willing to pay that huge price for it. So what am I going to do? I'm going to wait for the weekly algorithm, and I'm going to put in AVAV, and I'm going to say, you know what? Maybe I have to buy it higher. Maybe I do. Maybe I wait 3-4 months, but I'm going to wait and buy this one on this weekly. Again, finding a strategy. If you are big on this company and you want to buy into it now, that's your strategy. My strategy is more to be patient. And if it comes back down here to 113 and it tells me to buy, I go ahead and buy. But I like this one. Again, I like this one. So I did a scan again for stocks that are bullish in the 4-hour algorithm. And we've seen IBIT take off. IBIT has taken off. This is Bitcoin. This is my preferred ETF for Bitcoin. 4-hour algorithm has you buying at 6104 right there. I've talked about Coke before. I own Coke. It is a better stock than Pepsi, and it has dipped down below 70. 4-hour algorithm has a buy-in here at 69.63. Are we going above that 73 mark? Maybe. Maybe this is the start of a bullish run. Meta has a buy-in here. We talked about yesterday how Meta has just soared. Well, is it going for another run? The buy-in here, it's already in this buy, but it triggers another move higher. Is this one going higher? Maybe. You can see the MACD hasn't exactly reached the levels it was before. It's only 15, 20 points above the oscillator. Before it was 40, 50 points above the oscillator. So maybe we're just using that as a launching point. Again, AI. Palantir has a buy in the 4-hour algorithm. Again, it got you in here at 88. Just clear as day. We should have been buying at 88 the more I read about this. But are we going for another move higher? Well, this one, the MACD super high. The RSI is at 69. I don't want to buy that one. But again, the 4-hour algorithm tells me, hey, maybe we are going higher. Taiwan Semi, again, same thing. It's a huge run. Is the weekly looking good? Well, the weekly right now, again, the MACD reset, the RSI is at 66, is 185 your support level. Maybe, but it's at 224. Go and do your research on that one. My favorite energy company, I brought this up before, MPLX. MPLX is an energy company that pays a 7% dividend. Okay, it's the only energy company that I actually have and buy and hold in my portfolio. And I just reinvest the dividends. Buy in at 51.96. Now the 4-hour algorithm makes you 37% versus buy and hold at 53%. But use this as an entry because you win 64% of the time. But the key point is that ex-dividend date, which was just paid back here on May 9th. It's a 7% annual yield dividend. So again, I have all of these in the newsletter. You can go over here to Linktree. Remember, 4-hour algorithm, any of the things, this is the prices for TrendSpider. That's the top one. The second link leads you to the best deal out there right now, and this ends July 4th. Is get premium and Alpha Picks. What is Alpha Picks? It's a data-driven portfolio. And again, I have brought up many stocks from Alpha Picks. I have this portfolio. You get a buy on the 1st and the 15th of each month, and they tell you when to sell. And look at that performance. 162% versus the S&P at 57. If you like VOO and chill, this is your portfolio because this is like VOO and chill 3 times the return. And again, that comes in a bundle, or you can order it separately. And so if you go to Linktree, the third link is a free 7-day trial. You don't want the portfolio? Don't get it. Just get the premium service, get the top 2025 stocks, get the AI analysis, get the quant rating, get all of that for 20% off and a free 7-day trial. Now the fourth link is just to Alpha Picks by itself. Say you're a VOO and chill guy. Just get Alpha Picks. Again, I have it. I have hundreds of thousands of dollars into this portfolio, and they're saving you $100 until July 4th. $100. So, and then what else do you have on here? Well, you got the newsletter. Again, I've talked about get a free year, entered to win a free year of TrendSpider. just by subscribing for free to the newsletter. Simple as that. And then you have Webull. And I tell everybody, I don't like to trade risky assets in my large account. I use Webull. I was at, 12,300 last week or something? I'm at 12,750 right now. Again, the entire portfolio. It is Apple, it is Google, it is iBit, it is Nvidia, it is Spotify, and it's Tesla. That's it. And then I trade in and out of triple leveraged ETFs every now and then. It's a super, super risky portfolio. I would never tell anybody to have that portfolio unless you're like younger and can endure the risk. But again, Webull, sign up and you get free stocks. There's no reason not to sign up and get one. And Robinhood, in fact, you can get free stocks when you sign up for Robinhood. Robinhood gave me a great, great article this morning. So I like having it. I've only got $500 in Robinhood. I'll show you my Robinhood. Robinhood is very, very simple. Robinhood, I put $500 in there. In fact, I will bring you year to date. Look at the year to date chart on Robinhood. Let me see if I can show it. There you go. See how it's flat? And then I didn't time this right. I bought $500 of it. Now it's up at 10%, 542. I bought, let's see, it was, I think it, March 6th. So I didn't time this one right. I wanted HQ Trivia guy. That's what they did. So if you have any questions, my email address is up here in the upper right. If you need anything, just send me a message. Okay, that's it. Take care. Bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound.